What's going on, guys? Fun with Knives back again, and I have an overview video on this crazy knife from Cold Steel. This is the Recon Tanto or Tanto. This is kind of a ridiculous knife for me, but it's also kind of awesome. Obviously, this is brand spanking new, even though I bought it quite a while ago. It's still got all the grease on it to protect it from corroding on any exposed blade edge or steel throughout. So I was going to give you guys quick specs and then kind of my intended use for this guy, which is very limited. And then I'll put it in the rotation and do a review in the coming weeks or months. So overall length of this guy, 11.75 inches. Blade length is 7 inches with a cutting edge of 6 1/4. You got a handle length of 4 3/4 inches. A blade thickness of 0.19. It's a hefty blade stock. And this is SK5 steel. I don't really have any experience with SK5. I believe it's a carbon steel that would be similar to the 1075, 1095 category, but I don't really know. So I'm excited to get some use on it, see how it fares. Your handle here is Cray-X. It's one of their kind of rubberized polymer materials. It's actually pretty grippy and pretty comfortable at the same time. It's got a lot of cool texture on it. And then just kind of some ribbing on the top and the bottom. You have a lanyard hole, but no exposed blade tang. I do not know if this is actually a full tang knife. I would suspect it's a partial tang into that handle and then it's kind of adhered to it. Your grind on this is a pretty shallow hollow grind. I mean, it's thin behind the edge, but it gets to that full blade stock thickness pretty quickly. Obviously a Tanto design made for piercing and stabbing, and honestly some prying tasks. This would probably fare pretty well with that. You got a super thick tip, something that's going to wear well over time, I think. Palm swell to that handle, feels good in hand. There is no thumb ramp or dripping or anything, and this knife looks more upswept on camera than in person. I mean, it looks like that blade edge is way higher than the handle, but in reality it's, you know, it's a 1/4 inch. It's barely off the table here, as opposed to when the tip is touching the table. So interesting design, and my intended use for this is really not a whole lot. I mean, I bought this to be kind of a kit knife. If you needed a knife and throw it in the truck and forget about it. I believe these are going for 40, maybe 45 bucks right now. So not something that's going to break the bank for me, but something I can probably rely on if I needed to. And then your weight on this guy is 8.8 ounces. That is without the sheath. And the sheath, I am actually a huge fan of. It is plastic, it's not Kydex or anything, but it has great retention, seats well in there. And other than the button making a little bit of noise, there is no noise in here. I mean, it fits in perfectly. And then of course you have that secondary retention with the snap on top. So this would be one I'd be very comfortable carrying upside down if I lashed it to a bag or some sort of gear. You have some webbing on the back for a belt with a huge opening. You can also get to that by velcroing and unsnapping this to open it up. And then grommet holes and lashing points all around the blade. So it's a secure X sheath. Pretty big fan. Curious to try out a larger Tanto style knife and a steel I don't have experience with, and trying to give Cold Steel some more business. I've never been a huge Cold Steel fan, but I do have a Recon 1 and a Code 4 that I actually carry fairly frequently, and this is one of their most highly reviewed blades. So that's an overview on the Cold Steel Recon Tanto. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, have fun with your knives.